Hi, my name is Nicole Yeager, and I'm going to be giving a mechanism description presentation on an ignition interlock device. An ignition interlock device is often used as an alternative to revocation of driving privileges in the event of certain violations relating to a DUI. It allows the administrator to set a pre-programmed blood alcohol content, and then it requires the driver to be under that limit prior to operating the vehicle. The first ignition interlock device was invented in the early 1970s, and then they were added to the DUI offender marketplace in the mid-1980s, according to Heron's law offices. So first we're going to talk about the function. And the ignition interlock device is used to measure and monitor users' blood alcohol content prior to operating a vehicle. It's used as a breathalyzer, and it's attached to a vehicle's ignition. It's used in the events of certain violations related to a DUI, depending upon the state and the laws that they each have. This is an alternative to revoking the driver's license. So some of the benefits include that the violator can still work, they can still attend school, or they can still attend any other obligations that they may have. And it's also beneficial for the public because according to Heron law offices, it greatly reduces the number of rearrest rates for DUIs after the device is installed. So this is according to how it's used is according to LifeSafer, which is a type of ignition interlock device. The initial test includes giving a breath sample, and the vehicle will start if the breath sample is under the limit, which was already pre-programmed. If it is over the limit, the vehicle locks the ignition for a wait time, and then the driver can retest. The second stage is the rolling retest. The device will beep at random times, signaling the driver to deliver a breath sample. The vehicle will keep operating as usual if the blood alcohol content is under the limit. If the blood alcohol content is over the limit, then the vehicle will signal the driver to stop driving by blowing the horn and flashing the hazard lights if they are over the limit. The device will also log data, so it sends all the breath samples to whoever's keeping track of them. So this could be the court, DMV, probation, and it can be sent through wireless technology, or it can be checked at monthly service appointments where they check and make sure that the device is still working properly and hasn't been tampered with. So the device is slightly larger than a cell phone. It's rectangular and usually boxy in shape with a plastic mouthpiece extending off of it. It's mostly plastic and it usually comes in a black or gray color. It weighs no more than 5 pounds, so it's easy to maneuver and move around. It also has a spiral cord which typically attaches to the glove compartment on the passenger side or somewhere else on the dash. Next, we're going to talk about the different parts of an ignition interlock system. So the main part is going to be this part, which is the mouthpiece. And that's where the driver blows to determine whether the vehicle will start because they are within the limits and if they are able to drive. This part right here is going to be the display screen. So this displays, excuse me, whether they are under the limit, if their blood alcohol content is within the limits, and whether they are going to be able to keep driving or will have to retest. It also has a tamper-proof system for mounting the engine or mounting the engine part of the unit. And it detects hot wiring and other methods to bypass the interlock system. So that's going to be a part that has to be professionally installed. And there are different places that can do this, and that's just to make sure that everything is regulation. It's also going to have a computer chip in here which records the blood alcohol content when you're trying to start the vehicle and when you're taking breath tests, as well as when you're taking the rolling tests. So in conclusion, the ignition interlock devices vary slightly depending on the brand. There are different brands, but they all serve the same general purpose. They're easy to operate and a great alternative to revocation of a license or driving privileges, and they benefit both the offender and the public, aiming to decrease and ultimately eliminate drivers operating a vehicle with blood alcohol content over the legal limit. Thank you.